Our first guest tonight has new information regarding electoral fraud in the radical left's efforts to steal an election, and she charges 4 individuals as authors of what she calls a Pearl Harbor-style cyber attack on the 2020 presidential election. There are 4 names that she highlights. They are Jorge Rodriguez, the communications minister of Venezuela; Khalil Mazoub, Jorge Rodriguez's right-hand man; Gustavo Reyes Zumeta, who designed programs to rig election machines; and Antonio Mojica, the CEO of Smartmatic, an electoral voting corporation. Joining us now is Sidney Powell, a distinguished attorney, former federal prosecutor, best-selling author, General Michael Flynn's defense attorney, and, as we all know, a great American. Sidney, great to have you with us. You say these 4 individuals led the effort to rig this election. How did they do it?
Well, Lou, they designed and developed the Smartmatic and Dominion programs and machines that include a controller module that allows people to log in and manipulate the vote even as it's happening. We're finding more and more evidence of this. We now have reams and reams of actual documents from Smartmatic and Dominion, including evidence that they planned and executed all of this. We know that $400 million of money came into Smartmatic from China only a few weeks before the election, that there are George Soros connections to the entire endeavor. Lord Malloch Brown was part of it, along with the other people from Dominion. Eric Coomers, the person who also holds patents on some of the software and was operating out of the Denver office, I believe. We know that one of the Smartmatic people has went to Tarrant County, Texas, and turned that county blue after having been an executive with Smartmatic. And all of a sudden, this one election, Tarrant County is purportedly blue. We have evidence of how they flipped the votes, how it was designed to flip the votes, and that all of it has been happening just as we have been saying it has been.
What is the evidence that you have compiled? How have you constructed the architecture of this relationship among these 4 individuals?
Well, we are still reviewing the massive amount of documents that we have, but we have communications between them and all different kinds of messages that indicate their involvement in it. It's a massive amount of additional information to go through that's only been in our hands a short time, but we will be producing more and more of it. It will be coming out more by the day. And also the connections with the Chinese and other countries that were attacking us in this massive cyber Pearl Harbor, as we called it.
Jorge Rodriguez, I want to go through, we're going to put up on the screen so people can follow the conversation here, because these are names that most of us are not familiar with. You say that Jorge Rodriguez, the Venezuelan, former Venezuelan communications minister, is the ringleader, the CEO of the enterprise, as you put it. What is the evidence that this former communications minister could reach into the U.S. electoral system and raise the havoc and commit the fraud that obviously we have witnessed in 2020?
Well, we've known from early on in our independent investigation that the entire system was created for the benefit of Venezuela and Hugo Chavez to rig elections to make sure he continued winning. And then it was passed on to Mr. Maduro to do the same. And we know it was exported to other countries by virtue of some of the Dominion executives that proceeded to go about and essentially sell elections to the highest bidder. We know, for example, that Mr. Rodriguez has been on TV incessantly trying to, and actually mocking the United States. He is one of the highest
Venezuelan television?
Yes, Venezuelan television. and he's been one of the leaders of the whole election stealing project. But keep in mind, Venezuela has been highly influenced by the Chinese, and we know from filings with the SEC and otherwise that the Chinese put $400 million into Dominion only 4 weeks before the election, and they shared office space with George Soros companies, as well as the leadership of Lord Malloch Brown in the UK and Canada. It is a very concerning and troubling and illegal web of conduct, that all of which focused on rigging the election in this country. And we're seeing the results in multiple states where we're now identifying specific votes flipped, like in a couple of Georgia counties. In fact, Coffee County, Georgia, just yesterday, I believe, refused to certify the results of the election in Coffee County because of the vote disparities and flipping. We're getting more and more evidence out of other counties across the country about the same kind of conduct. We knew from Antrim County, for example, in Michigan, that 6,000 votes magically were flipped on election night. I think the cause of that is going to become more and more apparent as we proceed in the investigation. And frankly, our National Security Agency and Defense Intelligence Agency need to be all over this immediately. The evidence is overwhelming and extremely troubling that this has been going on, and it didn't just start this year.
We're going to be back with Sidney. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to examine in some detail the reasons for what is apparently a broadly coordinated effort to actually bring down this president by ending his second term before it could begin. We're back now with attorney Sidney Powell. She was describing a cyber Pearl Harbor in the 2020 election, focusing on 4 names. I would also like to put up this element from your investigation. If we could have that full screen up so that we could all go through that with the audience, because it's important as we look at these 4 names. We're talking about a very large foreign intrusion and interference in the election of 2020. Give us, it's outrageous that we have an attorney general, Sidney, who has said that he sees no sign of any significant fraud that would overturn the election. We had a head of the cyber intelligence unit for the Department of Homeland Security who's suing some people, apparently, for saying that his report basically was nonsense when he declared it was the most secure election in the country's history. What are we dealing with here, and how can we get to this if we have an attorney general who has apparently lost both his nerve and his commitment to his oath of office and to the country? We have an FBI director who seems to be as politically corrupt as anyone who preceded him, and a Homeland Security Department that doesn't know what the hell it's talking about and is spending more time playing politics, at least as it applies to Mr. Krebs, than securing the nation. Your thoughts?
I think it's time for a whole new team across the board, Lou. There's no explanation for the way the FBI has treated witnesses, good American citizens who've been brave enough to come forward with direct evidence of things like thousands of ballots moving from one state to another in the middle of the night to do what is called backfilling into the machines so that they can perpetrate their fraud, because President Trump won so many votes, he blew up their algorithm. The American people blew up the algorithm they created before the election to shave votes from Biden and give them to Trump. And we're now seeing direct evidence of that happening in multiple counties in multiple states, and we know it happened across the country. You'd have to be a damn fool and abjectly stupid not to see what happened here for anybody who's willing to look at the real evidence. I've uploaded a ton of it on our website at defendingtherepublic.org. And Twitter is even trying to destroy our new website, kraken-wood.com, where we're also trying to get the word out to the American people on what's been happening here and the truth, and upload documents. Twitter took our account down the first night.
Let me make you an offer very straightforwardly. We will gladly put forward your evidence that supports your claim that this was a cyber Pearl Harbor. We have tremendous evidence already, but of fraud in this election. But I will be glad to put forward on this broadcast whatever evidence you have, and we'll be glad to do it immediately.
Awesome.
We'll work overnight. We will take up whatever air we're permitted beyond this broadcast. But we have to get to the bottom of this, and the question now is not about the integrity or the energy of those responsible for securing the national interest for defending this country. It's how in the hell do we defend this country and secure the interest of this company without them? That's really the two questions.
Yes, well, the American people are going to have to insist on paper ballots with real identification. That's going to be one of the key things.
Well, that's going to be great for the next. Sidney, I've got to tell you, I'm not even going to contemplate the next election. I'm not even contemplating the January 5th election in Georgia. The hell with that. If the people of Georgia are dumb enough, after what they have gone through in the November 3rd election, to then go toward January 5th and a runoff and think that changing nothing will change the outcome, then the people of Georgia aren't half as smart as I believe them to be. And I believe the patriots in Georgia should stop this nonsense now. It is not something that to be decided about over who do you favor, which party, which candidate. This is now about faith in the electoral system in one specific state that may control the destiny of this country. And by God, it's too important for anyone. And I don't care what party you're in. I don't care whether you're an independent. This is too important to act as if nothing happened on November 3rd and to pretend that there will be a different outcome on January 5th. It's idiotic. The ridiculous leadership, and I mean the governor and the Secretary of State, have got to find, if not the integrity, the primal fear of the voters in Georgia to stop what's going on and stop it now.
I agree with you completely, Lou. This is the future of the republic, whether we continue to exist as the Republic of the United States of America. And every patriotic American needs to stand up right now and make their voices heard that we will not tolerate this. The chips need to fall wherever they fall. We lost gubernatorial seats. I'm sure we lost congressional seats. We lost Senate seats that we should have had. They have been perpetrating a fraud on the United States for the last 10 years, telling us we were turning blue when we were not. We have been clearly going red because the American people love this country, regardless of whether they came from, where they came from. American citizens came here for freedom and justice and liberty for all.
Well, Sidney, I guess we're going to conclude with my final question. We're out of time. We've gone well over. What can be done right now? How much time do you need to get that evidence to this broadcast, and we'll put it on the air?
I will get you some more information that's just stunning tonight.
All right. Sidney Powell.